list has come out. This might surprise you, but Pereira is in front of Jon Jones. It goes Islam, Pereira, Jones. Jones has moved down one, and they moved a guy from Jon's weight class. Jon, the greatest light heavyweight ever. They're now saying is competing at the same time with a greater light heavyweight ever. Can you imagine this claim? Are you understanding how big of a deal this is? I think that you have to give benefit of the doubt to Jon. And that's just because of being dynamic. That's just because of ground and pounding guys out. That's because they're going to TKOs. Jon has won every possible way that you can win. But if I said, do you believe that Jon could get Prohaska out of there twice in less than a combined 12 minutes? You would say no. And there is nothing that just happens in politics, just so you know. It's all well planned. Pereira in front of Jon Jones at pound for pound rankings.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, neither one of you guys attempted one takedown in that fight, Khalil. I mean, you guys were pretty much doing, striking with little gloves. Kind of what they're doing at one championships. So now, what happens when you get somebody that can mix it, like a guy like Ankalaev? How do you see that fight going?
Based off of the film that I watch and even seeing the type of training that Alex does, I don't think that he's a one-trick pony. I think that he's really good at what he does. For me, going in there and just striking with him, I don't think that it helped his case for pound. Doesn't mean that I don't think he can handle it. I really think that he'll be able to handle pressure from a wrestler like Ankalaev. I mean, I get what you're saying. I just think that if that fight were to happen, I think I would still take Alex in that.
I saw some reports about things continuing to percolate after the fight.
You guys had a bit of an altercation backstage here afterwards. What was that about?
I think it's just MMA drama. I always try to be away of it. He was also very nice this fight week, and probably he was a little bit angry after losing, and he started some conversation. But I hope when everything this will settle down, we can talk and understand what exactly he wants.
What happened?
Well, so I always bring an extra hat or some stuff in the bucket and to give to a kid or somebody out in the crowd. So they went back to medicals. I went out with Aljo and I was giving a hat away to some kid that I saw. And then when I walked back to medicals, I guess Kevin and Rome, Kevin was chirping at Roman the whole time through the medical tent. And then it just escalated into Kevin saying some really not very classy things to Roman. And then Roman getting pretty pissed off, and then that had to get separated. Emotions are firing at that moment, and it sucks, man, because no one wanted to fight to end that way. It wasn't on our choice either. Kevin made the decision to tell his corner about the rib, made Coach Bob Perez make a decision about keeping his fighter in the fight. So we didn't do anything wrong. So to take it that route, I was pretty disappointed. Kevin texted me and apologized. I told Kevin, I wish it didn't go to that extent. I know that emotions are high in that moment, but it's a fight. And, I wish it didn't have to turn into saying things that he said.
They cool now though?
I wouldn't say they're cool.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
Fair
say
enough.
they're cool, but, hopefully cooler heads will prevail at the end of this. We can move on.
Has there been any talk from the UFC about any opponents in general?
Not really. I told him after the last fight, I was like, hey, look, guys, I just sat out for a whole year with an injury, so I kind of want to, get back in there pretty soon. So they tried to match me and Figgy up in December. That was, I don't know, sometime last month. Figgy turned down the fight, wanted to fight Jan. I think that just my frame is just a difficult one to deal with in the sport. And then also
it is at 135.
Yeah, and I'm well-rounded, and I'm not a big talker guy, so I think that maybe guys think that it's going to be not a big fight, but I think that now at this point in the UFC, I've established myself, especially in this division, which is one of the best ones, is one of the best guys that there is, and when I show up to fight, it's going to be a good fight. So yeah, I mean, they said me and Figgy turned it down, can't really do much about that, so there's really no one else to fight outside of that. I asked for Jan too, and they said that they were likely going to do Jan and Figgy because me and Jan had already fought. So But yeah, I don't know. It was either one of those two, right? There really isn't anyone else to fight. Henry's talking about going to 25. He says all kinds of shit all the time that he sometimes follows through with and then sometimes doesn't. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at, man. I feel like O'Malley's really the only guy to fight.
Floyd, you little you're right, you're doing bad conversations, trying to get a boxing match at 155. Fight me my way. I'm the A side. You owe your out. Bare knuckle. McGregor Mayweather, 170 pounds. Let's go, baby. Take off the gloves and fight.
I know Ilya Topuria has had a lot to say. Country.
Yeah, this isn't his home country. This is my home country, baby. Marbella, Spain. Where's he at? This ain't his home country. He knows where his home country is, and it's not España. So good luck, Max Holloway. Up.
Throughout my whole 20s, going home with a headache all the time, concussions. And now when that happens, I get really upset. I feel like I did something wrong. So really, really try to protect that brain, man, because after you get punched in the head enough times, your ability to see things coming goes away. I've been teammates with guys who you couldn't hit, and then towards the end of their career, they couldn't stop a jab. They just couldn't stop it. Your ability to, for your brain to process and to react quickly goes away the more you get hit. So really, really, I've had teammates, they're not to badmouth them. One of my teammates, John Dotson, he would get punched and he would go, hit me some more. And I never thought that was funny. And I'm like, John, I would watch him put his hands down and let people hit him and hit him and hit him. And he's a rare exception because he still moves great and he still talks great and doesn't stutter. And, he's a rare exception. But for the most part, definitely want to protect that, not only all you got there.
Fabricio Werdum, former UFC light heavyweight champion Lyoto Machida, and other fighters have testified in the ongoing Zuffa lawsuit. This case recently reached a proposed $375 million settlement, with fighters accusing Zuffa and the UFC of breaching antitrust laws by suppressing fighter pay and employing anti-competitive practices. Fabricio's recent testimony was particularly shocking. Fabricio said, "I have numerous lesions and scars on my brain, and a centrally located cyst that has made surgery impossible up to this point. I monitor this cyst with exams twice a year to track any growth." Lyoto also testified, though he did not raise any health concerns. Instead, he shared how he would spend his portion of the potential settlement.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear you get loud at home and here for Conor McGregor!
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.